Hello, my name is Bonventure and this is Moving Pictures Kenya. Today we are diving into something that affects all of us, and that is serious business.
There is nothing braver than starting a business.
Whether you are an immigrant hustling in a new land or someone who's tired of the 9-to-5 grind, there is one dream many of us share: starting our own business.
There is also nothing more noble than hiring people.
Maybe it's your passion project.
What really started me, I just had a passion since the age of 11 in fashion, knowing that the garment that you wear tells a story about who you are without having to open your mouth. That's basically what fashion is.
Maybe it's an idea you've nurtured for years. Or maybe, just maybe, it is an unexpected opportunity staring right at you.
My idea of starting a business started when me and my friends, who are basically my business partners right now, we were in the car, carpooling, going to school for our BSN, and we were like, how about, after our BSN, how about we start a business?
But the big question is, when is the right time to start a business?
We all know that yesterday was the best time to start a business. And when is the next best time to start a business? Today.
The right time is now.
Start onshore, start small, but start today.
But there is one roadblock that stops most dreams in their tracks, and that is money.
The federal government set aside small business opportunities to the tune of $162 billion. But yet, of that $162 billion, only 2% of those contracts went to Black and brown firms. That means we have a large opportunity to connect to these opportunities, investments, to grow our businesses. So I'm encouraging everyone in this room today, work together to create bigger businesses. Go after the procurement opportunities with the federal government, with the state government, and within your local communities.
To start a business, you need capital. But where does this money come from? Especially when you are just starting out in a new country.
Some of the most common approaches are personal funds. So you save over the years until you decide to open a business. There are bank loans, CDFI loans, microloans, federal and state funding. You have SBA programs, PA state loan products, and grants. Other more non-traditional options that you may or may not have heard about are grants, angel investors, which are just people that give you a set amount of money and decide to invest in your business. There's private equity and initial public offerings. Some of the new sources that we've seen, and you've probably already seen as well, are crowdfunding.
Here in the USA, institutions called Community Development Financial Institutions, or CDFIs, are lifelines for small businesses, especially in immigrant and underserved communities.
We're created to really bridge that gap of financial assistance that is out in the marketplace.
This organization provides loans, financial training, and mentorship for upcoming entrepreneurs.
Well, I think it starts here in this room. If you look around, there's inspiration, there's mentorship, there's experience in this room. So we start organically.
Ever heard of the term skin in the game?
And then skin in the game. 100% financing does not exist. So every lender is going to require some skin in the game from the borrower. That's what we call equity. You need to bring some equity into your project. And that could be, if you're, let's say, for example, you're purchasing a mixed-use building, so we're going to ask you that you put money into the purchase as a down payment. So that's what we mean by skin in the game. If you're buying a business vehicle, we're going to ask you to put at least 10% of that purchase. So sometimes borrowers come to me and they want a loan, but they don't have any cash to inject into their own project. And in those cases, we have to wait until they're able to put some skin in the game.
It means you have to invest in your own dream before expecting others to believe in it. Showing your commitment goes a long way in unlocking funding.
What are lenders going to be asking for? What are we looking for? What information are we going to use to determine if we can provide you capital or not? So we're going to ask for 3 years of tax returns. That's going to help us determine the capacity that you have to repay the loan. And this is what we call 5 C's of credit. So the first one is capacity. So how do we determine capacity? We're going to look at your financial history. And that is, we utilize tax returns. We utilize profit and loss statements, balance sheets. The personal financial statement will tell me all the assets that you have accumulated and all your liabilities. That will tell me 2 things. Do we have collateral that we can use for this loan? And also, it's going to tell me what is your net worth. When we talk about collateral, we're referring to something tangible that you have acquired that I can use in the event that something were to happen with the loan that we're not able to collect the payment. That could be a home, that could be a vehicle, that could be a savings account. So those are kind of the most typical. We can also use business equipment. So if you're looking at doing an equipment loan, then the collateral would be the equipment. If you're looking at doing a business vehicle loan, the collateral would be that vehicle. If you're looking to buy a commercial property, the property itself would be our collateral. Then we look at the business plan. Especially for startups, you want to make sure you have a good business plan. When someone comes to me and doesn't have a business plan, they have it all in their head. They're very passionate about it. They can tell me what they want to do and how they're going to do it, but they need to have it in writing. So when someone doesn't have one, I pair them up with either an SBDC, like we mentioned earlier, or SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit organization that is comprised mainly of volunteers that have been in your shoes. They've created businesses, they've been CEOs, they're retired, and they offer their services for free. So the business plan will hopefully tell me what is the condition, the market condition for the type of business that you're trying to open. And that'll tell me if this may be a viable business or not. If we already have 10 nail salons on King Street, and you come to me and say, I want to open a nail salon at King Street, I may come back and say, this may not be viable. There's too much competition in an already challenging industry. So hopefully the business plan includes marketing research and a marketing analysis, a SWOT analysis. We will ask for business projections and assumptions. Because startup businesses have no historical, I'm going to go by what you're telling me that you're going to do as far as revenue, your expenses, and your net income. But it's not just telling me how many burgers you're going to sell. I also need to know who is your market and how many you're going to sell every day. So those are the assumptions. Don't just tell me what you're going to do, but also tell me how you're going to get to those numbers. So assumptions are just as important as projections. That's going to tell me, again, the condition and the capacity to repay that loan based on the revenue that you're telling me you're going to make. We're going to do a credit check. That's going to tell me your character. So I look at it, okay, how have you handled your past debt? That would be a good indicator to telling me if you're going to repay the loan or not. If you haven't, you can always go to annualcreditreport.com. You'll be able to get a free copy of your credit report for all 3 bureaus. You can do that once a year. It won't tell you your score. I think you have to pay a nominal fee to get the score, but it will give you your report. We always recommend reviewing your report at least quarterly. So what I would say is first quarter of the year, pull your Experian, and then second quarter, pull TransUnion, and then third quarter, move to Equifax. That way, every quarter you have access to a free credit report and look at it and make sure that everything is accurate.
So, how do you stand out when applying for funding?
What we have found over the years is that most of the minority, immigrants, women-owned businesses are also underbanked.
If you are a woman, don't hold back. Statistics show that women-owned businesses are a driving force in the USA economy.
In 2024, these are 2024 numbers, we have brought in $14 million in sales. That's almost 40% of all the U.S. firms. We have employed almost 12 million people. That's about 10% of the workforce. And we have generated 2.7 trillion to the revenue nationally. That's almost 6% of the total revenue nationally.
Yet, the journey isn't without its challenges. Minority and women-owned businesses face hurdles from lack of funding to limited networks.
We're a small part of that ecosystem. However, we do make a very important part of that ecosystem because without money, sometimes we're not able to have that mobility that we would be able to have. So we do want to make sure that that part is represented.
Want to succeed? Build your network.
Connections is definitely important in business. It's a man's world, right? What they say is who you know that matters, is not really what you know.
That is where organizations like Oaks of Central PA come in. Christine Titih, founder of Oaks of Central PA, organizes life-changing events like Emerge Her, bringing together visionary women entrepreneurs.
Immigrant is a platform to connect and empower minority women in business or those that are interested in starting businesses. Our hope for this event is that the participants are able to connect with each other, are able to reach out to each other to build those relationships and those connections that are so much needed for businesses. The other objective of this event too is to enable the participants receive information and resources that they need to start their businesses and to succeed in it.
So, what are you waiting for? Whether you are in Kenya, in Pennsylvania, in the USA, or anywhere in between our beautiful and resourceful continent of Africa, this is your moment. Dream big, start small, and never stop moving forward. If this story inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a push to start. And drop your questions and story ideas in the comments section. My name is Bonventure, and this is Moving Pictures Kenya, connecting people, inspiring Africa.